Hello, I am Karina DeJohn, and for my advocacy project, I decided to make a collage of some of my research and photos that inspire me and remind me of the essence of Earth Day and what it is to me. I believe it is a day to not only celebrate this amazing place we get to call home, but to also but that it is also a call to action um, of how we should be taking care of our earth and a reminder of how our earth deserves to be treated. I spend my Earth Day informing others of the importance of caring for our planet whenever I could. I didn't buy anything I didn't need, and I made sure not to waste food or resources. I believe using less is one of the best things we can do for our Earth. The end of overconsumption would help us reach an end to global warming. Um, I did a few things for my advocacy project. I first off watched a few YouTube videos. I watched a documentary by DW Documentary called Climate Change Adverting Catastrophe. And this had to do, it just spoke numbers about climate change, and it focused a lot on the glaciers and what our winters will look like if the climate change keeps occurring how it is. I watched one video by WWF International called How to Save Our Planet. And then I watched a eye-opening video called What Earth in 2050 Could Look Like by Shannon O'Dell on a TED Talk. And then I watched one called See What 3 Degrees of Global Warming Looks Like by The Economist. And this basically showed some places around the world that are already being affected greatly by the impacts of global warming. And these places, the temperature is only risen by 1 degree. So it's crazy to see how much their lives have changed and how much it's impacted them. So to think of a 3-degree change, which is what is expected for us in the not too far future, would do to us is very scary. And then I watched One Earth by Romain Pennis, which was just a short film. But they showed me the urgency of what our planet is going through, but they also reminded me that not all hope is lost and we can make a difference if we work together. I learned the importance. I read these magazines also for my research. I read 2 Nature Conservancy magazines, which I really enjoyed, and then I read the Sierra one, and then this National Geographic one, and they all had very great eye-opening stories. I mainly read the ones relating to global warming, cleaner eating, and our Earth, and yeah, they were all really great, and yeah. I learned the importance of trying to reuse what we have before buying new, and I learned that together we are a lot more impactful than alone, which is why we need to come together as a community to make the difference that our planet needs to be as strong and beautiful as it once was. I learned that global warming is one of our planet's biggest threats, and as I mentioned before, even a 3-degree raise in temperature can be incredibly detrimental to the well-being of our planet and all of its inhabitants, including us. And that we have already lost 2/3 of our glaciers since 1850 due to global warming, and our waters are rising every day. For my project, which is this, while I read magazines, I cut out quotes, words, and pictures that stood out to me. It's upside down, sorry. Once I finished reading, I gathered all the cutouts I had made and arranged them onto my canvas, which is actually a used Honey Bunches of Oats cereal box, which would have been recycled if I hadn't turned it into art instead. But this also was like a reminder that we can do that with almost anything. Like, you can find a way to repurpose so many different things that we would end up throwing away, and instead turn them into something beautiful or something reusable for something useful for your day-to-day. Like, you could turn like a peanut butter jar into like a pen holder, or a pickle jar in the future if you make pickles. The opportunities are really endless. But now I'll focus in on my poster. Up here, I started with Protect Your Earth, Preserve Our Planet. Here it says, together we build a better future. And this is true. If we work together, we are stronger together. This says, defending the land. And this just means taking care of our land and making sure others are treating it right. This was from one of the stories about eating better, and it just talked a lot about like eating more locally, home-sourced foods, and straying away from like big-time supermarkets and GMOs and stuff. This says saving winter, which we can do if we try to shorten the impacts of global warming. Here is someone gardening, and it says beneficial, which that it is. This says the power to protect our natural world is in your hands, which it is. It's in all of our hands. This is that quote about the glaciers that I had mentioned earlier. It says alpine glaciers overall have lost 2/3 of their volume since 1850, and the loss is accelerating. And then this is a picture of the glacier, and this says warming globe. Here's a view of the flower. This is the power of change. This says leave the ocean alone, and that just means like when it comes to polluting, just make sure you're not polluting the ocean. This says saving the sea and some fish. And one thing I also learned is that our oceans are they're greatly impacted by global warming. 2/3 of carbon emissions that are released are absorbed by our oceans, and that goes directly into coral bleaching and harming our sea animals, and that harms us and our economy and just the whole system. So it's important to care for every part of our earth. This says great minds protect the environment, and that is all of us. Be connected, and then support nature and your future, and not just are we supporting our future, but the futures to come and everyone. And then this quote says, gas leaf blowers, generators, and lawnmowers emit more air pollutants statewide than California's 14 million cars, which I thought was a very sad and eye-opening quote. And then this was from an indigenous group and how they're dealing with the environmental issues, and it says, this isn't just an environmental issue for us. Our culture, our history, and our future are at stake. But yeah, this is mine. Thank you.